Andrel.
Yeah, man's Lord, that
Yeah.
church's Lord and Savior.
Saint
Rest
Andrel.
after that.
Right. And, yeah.
Did we short rest after that whole encounter and the bones?
We did not, but you guys certainly can now if you want to.
I just didn't know how many like spells people used and whatnot, because I only used one.
Shouldn't have used
I think
any.
Zoldak used most of his,
Use the
action.
spells on what?
I used one
On
hunger.
vampires.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we did fight something.
Yeah, I used action surge and a lot of the superiority dice, so.
May used a couple spells, but he's fine to continue if we can't short rest.
Bartleby shouldn't get any of his back. But...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that fight. Gizmo was cheap and didn't do or use anything, so I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, I'd say the short rest would basically be good for Zoldak and Rain, just to get abilities back.
Gizmo's like, I ain't using shit on something I can't see.
Yeah. Yeah. Bartleby.
That's what happened. Now I
both
remember.
level 2.
Yeah, because the group fought the vampires in the coffin maker's shop. Because Strahd had forced the vampires on the coffin maker to have them take up resident there. I got, let's see, that Milivolge here, his house, I'll just put him there. In his house. And yeah, so the group returned the bones. They saw the first sign of sunlight that they had seen in Barovia. Then it faded soon after. But now it's kind of up to the group. Where do you want to go? Because there was talk about going to the Vistani camp outside of Valaki. There was also mention of like a magic spring in Krezk. I know there was also the lake that the group considered possibly going to, or that at least May had wanted to until he found out that it was named Lake Zarovich, and then was like, nope, don't need to go there.
I think our tentative plan was to go visit
Yeah,
the
and there's
Vistani.
also, don't forget about Rictavio and his saber-toothed tiger, because he when you're ready to attack the elves, or not the elves, the Vistani, if you decide to do that, he's waiting.
Yeah, I think our tentative plan was to go visit the Vistani.
Okay.
The Vistani Dusk Elf camp.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you had heard that it was out of the west gate, but I think that's pretty much all the direction you had.
I got. Wait, so did we return the bones?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He put them in the alcove underneath the altar.
Okay.
On, the priest there.
Anybody who doesn't have 9 temp hit points should, would do well to listen to Bartleby talk about his smoked meats.
Yeah, I don't think May got hit at all, so he still has his.
Yeah.
I think
Zoldak did once, but are we going to do a short rest then? Because we would have to.
I think we might as well. Like, I think what we have to gain outweighs what we have to lose.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we can hang around in town for an hour.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
guess it
gonna
would
affect anything.
basically be like us hanging out at St. Andrel's or something like that.
Yeah.
Just discussing the sky basically for an hour.
Yeah.
Gizmo
let's see.
expresses his disapproval just because he feels stupid around these people.
What was that?
So Gizmo addresses disapproval because he feels stupid around these people.
Why does he feel stupid?
About staying here longer.
Oh.
Hey, at least they're not as stupid as day 1 of Hamlet.
No one can beat that disease.
I don't know if you remember that, Gizmo.
Don't even.
When we first went in and
Don't even.
Yep.
Don't even bring it up.
Yep.
that
I
that version of Hamlet doesn't exist anymore.
Gizmo starts cursing at Rain and Dwarvish and walks away.
I missed the first iteration of Osler. And his poor daughter.
And his wife.
Is Gizmo even on this screen?
Yeah, he's to the left of Rain.
Bottom left.
Oh, there he is. He blended in with the building so well. Okay, so if our tentative plan then was to go to the Vistani camp, I suppose. It's good.
Yep. Okay.
So May, during the short rest, would ask if Ismark knows about their location, aside from us just heading along the path to the west.
Yeah, he says, I think if I recall correctly that the Vistani they're out the west gate and there's a path that goes south into the woods. They're in an encampment in a clearing in the woods. Kind of more to the southwest, actually.
About how long of a walk from here?
Not too far. We could get there in several minutes. Maybe 15. 10 or 15. From what I know, it's about that close.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
May says, if we get lost, he'll wayfind.
Right. He said it's close enough we shouldn't get lost.
Yeah. So we approach the west gate and attempt to leave.
Yep, and you leave successfully. There are 2 guards stationed there. Just like at the other gates, they just they acknowledge you walking out, but they don't really. The only thing they say to you is all will be well, and as they see you leave, and they just kind of give a nod.
Yeah, May just in passing says, hopefully.
Now, do I feel like they... do I believe them? If they believe that?
It's not so much a matter of belief so much as it is a mantra that you feel that they say around here.
I know. It's a bad joke.
Yeah.
Is he lying to himself?
I want to do an insight on Rain.
You think that there's probably some of that, yes. Huh?
Like, I want to do an insight on Rain to know why she's rolling insight checks.
I would also like to know why I'm doing that.
You really don't know.
I really don't know why I'm doing that. I'm sorry.
You're just like, oh, that was out of nowhere. Why am I questioning these things?
Yeah. These guards seem fine.
Yeah. So when you leave the town, there are a few more homes kind of on the outskirts of town. Although most of these ones seem like they have been abandoned, just for this because the ones outside the walls just haven't fared well. Several of them look like they might have been either ransacked by bandits or possibly more foul things like vampires, and definitely sign of werewolf attacks on some of these homes.
Similar to what happened at Ismark's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a road leading south right here. So you could either continue along the main path. There's another road up ahead, so 2 paths you could take. Probably doesn't really.
Yeah. May is just kind of looking at Ismark.
He says, yeah, we could take this path here.
Yeah, they call this one Old Booby Trap Road. It's just a name.
This one's
don't worry.
Dewdrop Road, and this one is Boulder Drop Road.
Yeah, so this road here leads into the woods, and just kind of takes you in. I'll reveal some more.
Into the
There's
woods.
music now.
These woods look just as sick.
Yeah, pretty much. Rather dreary. Yeah. And Ismark says, yeah, keep when you get to the fork in the road here, the one that heads more to the south, he says, I think it's more to the west, or we're going a bit far south here, so. So when you do, there's another fork in the road, but he says, let's see, I think, yeah, let's try south, and
Let's try.
yeah. He's a little uncertain here, but he's like, yeah, that's about right. And this road does take you, you eventually find the clearing, and you do find the Vistani camp. So I will.
May, as we're walking through here, is remembering like any features or monuments he can about the woods, so that he knows the way back. I mean, it's such a short distance, but he's just making sure that the woods won't change.
Yeah,
For whatever
there's
reason.
not really much in terms of like features that would give away what's there. It's mostly just the various forks in the road that's kind of the main thing. And maybe you pick up, like, oh, there was a weird shaped tree here that you know. But it'd be all natural stuff, not any besides the road.
Yep.
It'd be more natural stuff. So here's kind of what you see when you approach the Vistani camp. Kind of a camp sort of like this. It's essentially a clearing with a hill in the middle. On the top of the hill is a big tent surrounded by wagons. And then at the base of the hill are several cottages kind of built into it. So you're far enough away that you could maybe that's about what you can see. You'd have to get a little closer. You're far enough away though that you think that no one would necessarily spot you. But you could kind of start to scout out the area if you're uncertain.
Is Rain familiar with this type of architecture at all?
I'd say there's not really anything particularly special about them. They're pretty plain cottages. Like you think they look a little different just because you're in Barovia, but like the architectural style is a little different, but otherwise there's not anything that seems particularly unique about them, other than maybe the fact that they're kind of set into the hill a little bit.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, May's done his any kind of woodland research that he's needed to do up to this point, so
Yeah.
he's just kind of still letting Ismark lead or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, well, once the camp comes into view, Ismark stops and says, well, here it is.
May says, I guess we should be on our guard since the Vistani are allied in some way with Strahd, so we'll have to kind of lay it cool while we're in here.
Yes. We should be cautious with them. When you get a little closer, you see that outside of one of the dwellings, actually from the dwellings that you can see, the one directly in front. So like if you're looking at the picture, you're kind of like, the east is coming out of the picture, so it's kind of lining up with how we're approaching it. The one house directly in front has two what you presume to be dusk elves, just because of their tan skin. You can't really see their pointed ears, but tan skin, dark hair, look like they might be dusk elves. They're not really dressed kind of as colorfully as the other Vistani you've seen. They're kind of in more earthen tones as well. But there's two of them outside of the house directly in front, and then there's one in front of each home that you can see.
Do they, are they donned in, armor, or just, plain clothes?
Let's see. They look like they're wearing, kind of maybe leather armor. Lighter stuff, lighter armor. You think you catch the glimpse of maybe some metal, like a weapon at their side, possibly a bow strapped to their back.
Is this general area as inviting as the other Vistani camp? Is there any fencing around it, or I know it wasn't in the picture, but is there anything that would say don't come here, like a fence or anything of that sort?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. Rain is fine kind of approaching the main camp then.
Yeah. If no one else will, May will lead, and I guess approach the two Dusk Elves.
Okay. I'm going to switch maps here. Oops, gotta switch the party. And then I'll get everybody centered.
In Bartleby. How about we don't do that?
And then we got...
Why not?
Come on, Meg. Oh. Two
Well, now we have
Megs.
2 Megs.
Yep.
Double the fun.
Asexual reproduction. Use a fission technique. Alright, so I'll reveal a little more here since you should be able to see more since we're outside. Yeah. Just revealing stuff here. So you approach the two guards outside, and I guess you're not taking any effort to conceal yourselves or hide or anything. You're just kind of more.
Nope,
Not if it's in
walking.
an open field.
Walking without club drawn, whatever. Just
Yeah.
walking up to him.
Average hiding under my hood.
As we approach, are these lines just guidelines for the?
Yeah, they're
feet?
guidelines. Basically,
Okay.
they're showing. If you look on the left, they show the terrain rising 10 feet.
Okay.
Each space counts as 10 feet on this map too, by the way. So.
Right.
So we're actually on somewhat of a hill
one at
right
100
now.
feet.
A little bit. It's kind of it's gradual here, but
Yeah, just because it says plus 10 feet, so I imagine that line is 10 feet above, say, over here.
right.
Yeah.
I would assume it's in reference to the base of the hill.
Yeah. So yeah, they are holding spears. They don't actually have shields. That's just the picture I got, but for the token I found for them. So yeah, but they are each holding a spear, and they do draw them, and they say, "Halt! What are you? Who are you? And what are you here for? Are you here to speak with our leader or the Vistani?"
May
Why is there a difference?
May will say, we are new to this area, to Barovia, and we are kind of just walking around seeing what we can see while we're all stuck here. And so we just heard about this camp and thought we'd come and check it out.
That's it. Just to check it out.
That's the sum of it.
Some of it. What about the rest of it?
Well, that's the difference.
Well, if you're here to check things out, just don't cause any trouble.
So are you two guards here?
That's correct.
What are you guarding?
This home here, of Casimir.
Who's that?
That would be our leader,
Who dat?
The leader of what?
the Dusk Elves. You're asking some strange questions, but I guess that's why you're here, right?
Do you know anything about the Gnarlywood?
What's that?
You're asking some strange questions too.
What is this reverse
Okay,
psychology?
Fair enough, fair enough. You did say you were trapped here. I guess I shouldn't be so smug with visitors.
Are you both not trapped here?
We're trapped here just as you, although from what it sounds like, unlike you who found yourselves trapped here, we were born here. Trapped here all our lives.
It's an interesting word, trapped. So, do you like being here?
Not at all. Believe me, if we could get as far away from this place, we would. But no one leaves Barovia. Not even the dead.
And what's this about Vistani, you said? Who are they?
The Vistani, they're up at the top of the hill with their wagons and their tent. They're sort of like the overseers here. Casimir may be our leader, but it's really the Vistani that, keep Strahd away from us.
And who's Strahd?
You don't know who Strahd is? Strahd Zarovich, the terror of the land?
No. Who is he? I don't know him at all.
Yeah, sure you don't.
Yeah, let me see.
I don't know who you're talking about.
He says, "You're okay. You're playing me now. You know who Strahd is."
Yes. So do you not like him?
I'd rather not say one way or the other for fear of repercussion.
So you don't like him. Or at least you fear him.
That would be the more accurate way to put it. Or the most truthful way to put it.
So is anything stopping us from visiting the Vistani, or is there any other... I believe you are Dusk Elves?
That's correct. We're Dusk Elves, and I don't And the only thing I would say stopping you from seeing the Vistani is that they seem to be pretty. They and the Dusk Elves, those you see, like we're here on guard duty, but plenty of Vistani and Dusk Elves are actually out searching for Luvash's daughter, Arabelle. You wouldn't. She's she's 7 years old, little girl, dark skin but very, very light hair. You haven't seen her, have you?
Not yet.
Huh. Yeah, she's been missing for about 3 days now. By the end of today, it'll be the 4th.
Yeah, Strahd.
Are the Vistani a race of people, or are they like a culture?
Culture. More of a culture, or a clan.
Okay.
Rain speaks up for the first time and says, I may be able to help you if you can help me in return.
How's that? What can you offer us, and what are you looking for in return?
I possess a certain magic gifted to me, and I can send messages to people with whom I'm familiar. And given my past experiences, if you can tell me enough information about her, I could potentially send her a message and have her send me one in return. And we can see if she's at least alive or if she's been captured.
Really? You might want to see Luvash then. He'd be the one to talk to, who could probably help you out better than I could.
This is one of the Vistani?
Yes, he's the Vistani. He's the leader of the Vistani here. Up in the Big Tent. He would be very pleased to hear that if you could help him.
Certainly. Other than that, it may seem a strange question, as it seems as if all of you have experienced some type of loss. I'm looking for a particular Dusk Elf who suffered a great loss and haunted by dark dreams. Do you know of such a dark elf or Dusk Elf?
They both guards kind of look at each other and say, "Yeah, we know someone. Yeah, you should definitely speak to our leader about that. Casimir would be the one to talk to. He suffered we've all suffered loss here, but he's probably suffered the most."
Well, in due time, I would be glad to speak with both leaders. Is your leader available now?
Yeah, he's in the house.
May I enter?
Of course. But we will be right behind. One of us will be in behind you to make sure you don't try anything funny. And in fact, just because we don't know who you are yet, we're just being cautious. It's not anything personal. I'd prefer it if only 2 of you went in.
Rain
And
looks...
then if Casimir thinks he can trust you, then the rest can follow, but...
May looks over at the sides of these houses, or if he knows about this already, but are there windows or anything next to this house?
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
It's like basically a single window on the sides.
Yeah.
I would say either Bartleby would probably agree to go if nobody else wants to, but if somebody else wants to go,
Zoldak says, "I'll remain outside."
May, would you like to accompany me, or would you like to continue your banter with the guards?
Yeah, he'll go in. I had this thought in my head that I would go off to the side somewhere in wild shape and just like creep through the window.
Do it.
I'll go. I'll go in through the front door. I'll save that. I'll save that maneuver.
And still creep.
Yeah, so. The rest of this. Yep. So yeah, you can go inside, and the one other guard who you weren't talking to, she's in behind you. And
did you say
yeah,
she's behind us?
Or he? I said
okay.
He. Yeah. Yeah, but you essentially see another. Yeah, it's basically this one man in here. He's a cloak, has a cloak on, not dressed in any armor or anything, but face looks very worn. Like he's just kind of worn out. Not necessarily old, but more aged, possibly, even for for an elf.
May, stepping inside, would lower his hood so that his head was exposed.
Rain does not.
Is Range judgmental of herself?
Insecurities, bro.
But he said, he's just kind of working at his desk here, and he looks up and says, "Oh, hello. Who are you? Who are you folks?"
My name is May, and I am a druid of the Gnarlywood. At your service.
May of the Gnarlywood. And you?
Raiden nods. I am Rain of nowhere, in particular.
A wanderer. Casimir Velikov, one of the last of the Dusk Elves.
Wait, what did you say his name was?
Casimir Velikov.
Velikov? Valaki?
Yes, also at your service. What can I do for you?
Do you know where... Or wait, is Luvash the head of the other of the people on the top of the hill? Okay, yeah, I got them mixed up.
Yes. Yes.
Rain.
That is correct.
Rain says, something like, so we've come, or rather, at least I have come to speak with you about a manor pertaining to, and kind of like looking up, like shifty-eyed, like him, just kind of like.
I would ask that you, if you do, we don't want any trouble. We've had enough trouble in our lives brought on by him.
Rain
but
said,
I will at least answer what I can.
Rain says, certainly. I happen to know of a particular dusk elf who is haunted by dark dreams after his great loss, and I wish to help.
How did you find out about this?
You're about to piss them off.
My friend Rain has a gift of some alien knowledge, and she is known to talk directly into people's minds. I wouldn't exactly question where she gets her power.
Oh. Interesting.
As it is a
You said, what? Sounded like there were more people out there talking, or at least more out there with the guards. Are there more than just the two of you?
Yes, my friends and I were all trapped here, and wish to eventually.
Are we
escape.
actually trapped here?
It's at least what it sounds like.
We willingly came here into this area to get away from that angry town that tried to murder you two. Because, you guys had such a good reputation in Hamlet.
He means, like, we walked in through the gate and then we couldn't leave. Like,
Well, yeah, but
They're all with me except for the dwarf.
you do that, and
No.
I will smite your ass till Tuesday.
You shatter the whole house.
Okay.
Back to
And are
town!
your friend, you and your friends? It sounds like you're capable.
Capable of what?
capable of what?
Yeah, like what?
Well, you said you can read minds,
Oh god. Something bad's about
or
to
at least
happen.
learn secret information.
Abort now!
I can.
Yes.
We have some power, but none near the power of Strahd.
What do you intend to do about that?
Tend to do about what?
About Strahd, clearly.
Your power compared to Strahd's. Or do you have any intent?
Hmm. I don't know how he would answer that. I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you said you were trapped here, and you came here inquiring of me. Surely your plans are grander than what you've revealed so far.
Oh, yeah, we're going to leave eventually.
Yeah, I thought so. No, you must know by now, though, that no one leaves Barovia.
I think we will.
Although, the only thing I know, the only way I know to leave Barovia, at least it's a rumor, it's never been tested, because no one's ever succeeded, is to kill Strahd.
Rain smiles when he says kill Strahd.
But as I said, no one knows if it's true or not.
I believe that's on my list right after someone else.
Good, well, tell you what, if that's on your list, I'd like to, perhaps we can work together then. You see, I too would like to see Strahd dead. But I also, you did mention those dreams that trouble me.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not too sure how to read him yet. But he says, I do have dreams that have been troubling me. You see, my sister, Petrina, she was turned into a vampire many years ago by Strahd. And at which point, myself and several of the other Dusk Elves here, we raided his castle and killed my sister to
Felt like
prevent
that was
her from
coming.
suffering that cruel fate. But you see, Strahd retaliated and killed all of our women and children, all of our wives.
Oh, so your sister was his... whatever.
His wife at one point. Yes, and Strahd did not take kindly to that, as you can imagine.
Did she... I might have missed this, but did she betray you by going with him?
No, but
Like, why did she die?
It wasn't wise. She went there to Castle Ravenloft on her own accord. You see, Strahd, despite the terror he causes, will humor visitors in his home. And she was one that I guess he took a liking to her, and she visited the castle several times. It was sort of like playing with fire. She thought she could do something about him and maybe control him or find a weakness or something, but that went south very quickly.
And then he killed her?
He turned her into a vampire. And so when we found out about this, that she was a vampire under his control, we wanted to free her from that cruel fate. And then we killed her.
Where did you kill her?
In the castle.
How were you able to kill a vampire?
drove a stake through her heart and cut off her head.
Rain just like
May looks over at Rain,
While she was in her coffin.
and he just kind of look, and then he looks back at Casimir.
It took everything I had to fight back. Either way, it was a loss. She was either dead or a vampire. Neither fate was.
Yeah, actually, I guess whenever May would look at Rain, he would get up close to her and whisper in her ear, "We didn't cut off the heads of the other ones, if that's actually necessary." Although maybe that shopkeeper knows about that, and then he backs away.
Rain kind of shrugs with like a fucking hope you're not right.
Yeah, he's kind of Casimir's kind of too busy just kind of like remembering the pain,
like looking down,
recalling the pain to notice whispering to each other. But then he looks up and says, "But I have learned of something that might help. You see, I think I know a way to bring her back from the dead. Do you know of the Amber Temple?"
Why?
Guys, do you know?
Me? Probably not.
When you hear the term Amber Temple, you know that you haven't heard of anything like it specifically. Just again, you're in this kind of being in Barovia. It's an area that you've never had experience with.
Yeah,
You kind of vaguely recall like something about like a place of great evil. Like it sounds almost like a forbidden, like something forbidden and ancient.
Okay.
Like, and you think like maybe there was something similar like that you heard about at one point.
Yeah, just like Amber Temple, my connotation is bad. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, but he says, I believe there are secrets hidden in that temple. Secrets, and I might be able to learn how to bring her back from the dead there. And I think there's also clues there for how to kill Strahd or leave Barovia or both.
Did the guy Rictavio, did he... Okay, he wants to kill only the Vistani?
That's at least, he said, yeah, he wants to at least attack the Vistani and allies of Strahd, because he basically said, like, yeah, he knows he's not going to be able to face Strahd, but he can at least win small victories.
Okay.
Yeah, so oh yeah, were you going to say something about that?
No, I just... During this whole thing, I was trying to remember... my note for Rictavio just has wants to kill Vistani, but I didn't know, like, if that meant the camp, meaning the Dusk Elves too, or just the Vistani themselves.
So, Rain would then ask...
He mentioned the Vistani. It was the Dusk Elves. He's like, no, they're fine.
Yeah.
So Rain asks, I hear rumor that these Vistani follow Strahd. Why do you guard them?
We don't guard them. It's more that they guard us. It's kind of a weird relationship. You see, we're a broken people, and we can't do anything against Strahd in our current state. And there are too few of us, those of us who remain. You know, we're all of the Dusk Elves that so the Vistani kind of keep an eye on us, both good and bad. It's kind of one of those things where we serve them, they make sure nothing really bad happens to us, but we have to stay in line.
Rain, awakened mind says, what if I gave you a way to break their control over you? And we sought out the Amber Temple.
And he says, he
He
squints
has a
his
heart
eyes at
attack.
you when you're like
Yeah.
talking in his mind like that. He's kind of like,
He clutches at his heart.
They warned him.
yeah. He says, if you can do all that, I will follow you.
Don't know how good of an idea it is to make friends with these people.
I ask that we go to the Amber Temple, learn what we can to kill Strahd and escape Barovia and save my sister. Do that, and I will follow you, even to the point of fighting Strahd and facing him.
Rain glances over at May and, in his mind, says, "What do you think?"
So
He says, by the way, if you have your other friends, they should come in here to see this or hear this.
May looks back at the.
He motions to the guard.
Yeah, I was like,
Bring them in. Yeah, so he goes out.
Bartleby, I guess, enters.
I'll just have, like I said, these are actually 10 by 10, so
yeah.
technically they could both fit there. So, and if Gizmo does Gizmo come in or?
Gizmo is apprehensive and stays outside.
Okay. Yeah, so
Gizmo doesn't
Casimir and May and Rain quickly bring the others up to speed. Kind of on the discussion so far.
So I actually kind of missed this part, but Rain, what did you say about stopping their control over Casimir?
I asked if something along the lines of if he wanted, like, would he be interested more or less in us breaking their control? And he seemed
When you say their control, who's there?
like Vistani.
Okay.
But he seemed to, as his response, kind of seemed to gloss over it. The more grand scheme of bringing down Strahd is what he'd be interested in, but I feel like he would probably be interested in the liberation of them to help us either before or after the Amber Temple.
Yeah, I mean, if we can set up the cogs of this machine and then slap them all together, like, tell him if we know where the Amber Temple is, we'll go with it with him, and then we'll come attack the Vistani with that guy, and then then we'll all leave, set up the action plan, or whatever.
Yeah.
The workflow.
Yeah, I mean, if it feels private enough, I guess, Rain would bring up, what do you think about the leader of the Vistani here?
The leaders of the Vistani here.
His daughter has gone missing.
Yes. Well, to be perfectly honest, he says, to be perfectly honest, Luvash is very hot-headed and temperamental, but he can be reasoned with if you get on his good side. And one way to do that is by, supplying him with fine wine or drinks. He is a sucker for that.
So
now his brother Aragal, on the other hand, I do not
Arugula?
trust him.
Yes.
Arugula. Listen here,
Aragal.
Arugula.
He says, I do not trust him at all. You see, Luvash is more of a brute, but brutes can be dealt with. Erigel is the cunning, sly, sneaky backstabber that you gotta watch out for.
Rain says, as May had said previously, I do have access to alien knowledge and telepathy, and I very well could help him find his daughter, but if they're allied with Strahd, I'm finding difficulty reasoning why I should. And I was gonna pause there and see what he would say in return. Like, if he'd offer like a yes you should or no you shouldn't.
Yeah, he says, yeah, Casimir says, well, they, like I said, I do not trust Aragol. I know he's killed several people. Even if I can't prove it, I know it was him. And Luvash has as well, but his were more blunt, so to say, like the people he killed had it coming or stood in his way openly.
Would Lavash turn on Strahd if his daughter would be returned to him, or do his loyalties lie more deeply?
Yeah, basically,
Luvash,
can we work
if
with
you-
these people? Like,
I think you could work with Luvash. I think you could. If you returned his daughter, he cares about her more than anything. So if you could return his daughter, he would certainly reward you for that. Like I said, he's a brute and can be very cruel. It's just more of a matter of if you get on his good side or his bad side. Aragol, no. He's loyal to Strahd.
Thank you, and I would say I have one final question for
What's
you. Rain kind of like puts her hand to her temple and says, you've been here longer than anyone, than any of us. I see a fallen house guarded by a great stone dragon. What does that mean to you?
Oh. You're referring to Argynvostholt, the Dragon Manor.
Yes, I'm seeing a highest peak there, but the rest is cloudy. What
Highest
lies there?
highest peak. Well, there's a bell tower.
Ah, that must be it. What
Yeah.
do you know about that manor?
That manor's haunted.
Of course it
I
is.
there's
Of course it is.
but
Everything we go to is haunted.
It's not the happy manor of happy families.
It's a
Yeah.
Of
thing.
course it's not.
that was
No, we've never gone into a building that's
that was the
happy.
last one.
yeah. The revenants there, though, they are not allies of Strahd, I can tell you that. They're vengeful spirits.
Ooh.
They, although I would say in their rage, they tend to deal harshly with anyone that trespasses on the manor.
Who pissed in their cornflakes?
Strahd.
Where is this manor?
It's to the south. If you take the road leading west from here, and follow it, there's a crossroads. Don't take the crossroads. Going south leads to Berez. But if you continue along the path, a ways into the woods, deep into the woods, there's another path that goes south. So the second path that goes south, that leads to the manor.
How do you have any idea how to gain favor of these revenants? Would I be able to prove to them in some way that I am an enemy of Strahd?
I don't know. I've stayed away from that place. What other people have told me, most of the spirits there can't be reasoned with. And although I have heard though that the spirit of the dragon haunts the manor, but I don't know. From what I've heard, the spirit of the dragon he might be more agreeable. I don't know. Most people don't stay around to get detailed information on that place.
Do stories tell of Strahd slaying a dragon?
Oh yes. He the Order of the Silver Dragon, they were knights that had their headquarters in the manor in Barovia before Strahd came here. And in fact, they were the ones who took in Strahd's enemies and protected them. And there was a fierce battle between the Order of the Silver Dragon and Strahd's forces. And eventually, though, Strahd won and slew the dragon there. Argynvost was his name. Argynvost Holt is the name of the manor. Argynvost is the dragon.
Rain says to everybody, we should pay Argynvost a visit.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoldak's kind of just nodding. Seems we have several leads we could follow. We have this Amber Temple, Argynvost Holt, Krezk.
Yeah, the well.
And he says,
spring.
you mentioned Berez. What's that? Yeah, and Casimir says, Berez. That was that used to be a town, but as you'd imagine, the people there kind of have a similar story to me. Actually, Strahd. There was a woman there that caught Strahd's interest, and it didn't end well for the town. Now the swamp floods the remains of the village, and now it's just a ruinous heap.
Rain says, well, with the way
But I
that
hear a witch lives there.
Rain says, well, with the way
every time you open
women
your mouth,
wander.
it's just something worse. You guys start Brandon starts saying something, and then CJ's like, "Oh yeah, there's a witch too."
Oh, by
my
the way.
god.
Also, she's a dinosaur.
Who breathes fire and lays dragon eggs.
Good. I'm glad. You're
just like, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
Would I be safe if I were to approach the Vistani camp and speak to the brute?
Up on the hill?
Yes.
I would, but I would keep your weapon sheathed and make it clear right away what that you know about Arabelle and are here to help. They'll be more likely to stay on your good side if you get on their good side right from the start.
Rain turns and asks if you guys think that she should go and speak with them and see what kind of help they may be able to offer, because if the brute is willing to split with his brother, we may be able to obtain additional forces.
Zoldak says, we need allies, not enemies. So, while I don't like that they work with Strahd, it might give us an advantage.
Would Rictavio accept that, though?
Rictavio is just one man with a saber tooth. Depends how many Vistani we could recruit.
Casimir says, well, you might get Luvash to view you favorably. And the Vistani might at least help you, but I don't know if you could convince all of them to openly side with you and openly turn against Strahd. It might be more of those things, one of those things where they just don't get in your way if you oppose him.
So, our options are kill them so they don't get in our way, or convince them not to get in our way.
We could go rescue his daughter and take her to a specific location, and then tell Luvash that we have her safe, but he needs to come out, and then we can kill him.
Ooh. That's dark, May.
No, that's Jordan talking. May would never say that. But basically, from his understanding, the Vistani side with Strahd, and so, like, WTF, mate. Like, if there was some line, like, they were slaves, or they were, like, something else, like, you know, there was no choice involved or something, but if they're willingly following him, he doesn't want them. Like, we can't trust them.
Well, I mean, I hate to draw the comparison, but that would be like, you know, somebody who would be like Jewish working for Hitler. Like, maybe they don't enjoy it, but it provides them safety.
Yeah.
Zoldak says, I think we need to talk with Luvash and get their side of the story.
Agreed, as long as we can talk our way out of it.
Yeah, I mean, May doesn't want, like, if his daughter's in trouble, depending on, like, where she is, yeah, like, we need to find out, well, I mean, I guess they don't know where she is, but, like, yeah, if we get some kind of story on her.
And if, provided that he can tell me enough about her, I might be able to send her a message, and, you know, if I ask her who took her and where she is.
May would say regardless that at some point you should attempt sending Irina a message just to make sure that she's still alive. If she can respond.
I am reluctant to do that, if only because if she is with Strahd now, I don't want Strahd to know that I'm alive.
It's true.
If he guaranteed he knows anyway.
I would like
possibly, but we don't know that, so there's a chance.
Strahd's got eyes and ears everywhere.
Normally, I think that he might be too preoccupied with his house guest,
which we don't know about.
He's trying to get a new
unless
bride.
May shared that information.
Well, I mean, you guys watched her get kidnapped. I'm the only one who didn't, because I was dead. Anyway,
you know, we knocked Ismark out and ate her.
It was Strahd, yeah. Well, okay. Shall we go to the Vistani camp? Rain says,
Okay.
we will be in touch before we go to the Amber Temple, to let you know to come with us.
Yes, please do. I know you. It sounds like you have several other leads you're pursuing and things to deal with, but whenever you're ready to go, please let me know, and I'll show you the way to the Amber Temple.
Okay, so,
Yes.
should we approach ourselves, or would you like to send one of your guards, so then he knows that we mean no ill will?
That would actually, yes, that would actually be preferred.
Like an
That would just
escort of
guarantee
some
you
kind.
You don't cause any. There aren't any unnecessary. There isn't any unnecessarily start. They don't
No
get
big
startled.
ruckuses.
Yes.
We cause a ruckus everywhere we go.
That's true.
Yes, I will say. Yes, take one of my guards with you.
Forever?
Just up to the Vista.
I'm with this one. He's my pet now.
Come on, CJ, give him a token.
Yeah, there is a token there.
And a boulder
in
comes out of
control of it.
nowhere.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So. Yep. So up here, as you make your way up the hill, and one of the guards leads the way. May and Gizmo, do you follow behind?
Sure.
Nope.
No.
No. Yeah. So there's there's a circle of wagons here, and then in the ring of wagons there are horses tied up to posts. That's what each of these kind of clusters are supposed to be. Here and up there. There are 3 camp. Okay, no. Yeah, so there are several empty casks of wine kind of littered around. And you hear that there's some commotion inside the wagons. Sounds like, there are some people drinking and just kind of, having a good time.
What time of day is it?
Let's see, you dealt with the vampires and all that. I'd say we're probably looking at maybe around noon, lunchtime.
Okay.
There is smoke coming out from the center, the large central tent.
Does it smell of meats?
Oh God.
No, not necessarily. Not of meat.
Probably leaves.
At least,
he falls down. The hill.
Something was cooking, but it, wasn't necessarily like, big roast or anything.
Yeah.
Barnaby still leaves.
Yeah. I assume we come up here.
Yeah, the entrance to the tent is up there, so the guard, takes you around. There is, there's like 1 or 2 as you're kind of making your way around the wagons. There are some Vistani that, stumble out of some of the wagons. 1 or 2 of them are intoxicated. Another 1 or 2 aren't. But they're just kind of like, they get it. They stumble out. They notice you, but they also notice the guard with you, so they don't kind of raise any alarm. They just go up to one of the other wagons and somebody lets them in. But when you get here to the center of the tent, or to the entrance to the main tent, the guard stands aside, and the guard actually walks in, and you can peer into the entrance, and you actually hear the sound of someone being whipped.
Kinky.
Great. Why are we here?
You hear kind of a brutish voice. He's letting out curses and say, "How could you be so incompetent? How could you let my daughter out of your sight?" And he's just like cursing someone out.
Great, guys. We came to Crazy's house.
Story of our adventure. Guess we wait for an invite in.
Yeah. The guard walks in, and he kind of coughs, lets out a loud cough, and the whipping stops, and the one guy turns and says, Yes, yes. What is it? And the guard just kind of he just kind of has his head just kind of downcast, but he motions to the rest of you.
Do I recognize who he's whipping?
No,
Or, like, what he's
it's not
whipping?
a dusk elf. I'll put it that way.
Okay, yeah. That's
Yeah,
mainly what I
it's
wanted.
a Vistani, or at least a young man.
All right, so I guess Rain enters.
Yeah, as does Zoldak. The guard walks away.
Bartleby stands near the door.
Yeah, he
What
says.
what is in this tent?
Yeah. So there's a large campfire in the middle of the tent with a hole in the ceiling to let the smoke out. There is a young man who is shackled to a post, being whipped, or was being whipped. Also in the tent. What else does it say?
It's a shambling mound.
Yeah. There's essentially just a table and chairs in this tent. Enough for several people to sit down, sort of like a meeting tent. There's like a chest with some on the side of the tent, but there's not really much else in the tent.
May is staying on the edge of the tent by the door, but he's inside.
Yeah. So also in the tent is a third person. He's just just standing kind of in the shadows, kind of out of the kind of like on the edge of where the camp, like the light's illuminating the tent, but he's kind of like, off to the side. Has his hood, kind of has his cloak, up over him. But he doesn't say anything. And then the big guy says, "Yes, who are you? Do you have news of my daughter? Is that why you're here?"
Rain kind of bows her head and says, "My name is Rain, and I heard of your daughter's disappearance and wanted to lend my expertise should it be able to help. I don't know that it can, but we'll never know if we don't try."
"And how can you help me then?"
"I am gifted with a certain alien magic, and I can, should you tell me enough detail of your daughter, potentially send her a message telekinetically, and if she can relay us any information to her whereabouts, it would give us a huge lead on where to find her."
"You could speak to her and know if she's okay." Yes. Anything you can do to help."
"Yes, please. All you have to do is tell me as much detail about her as you can so I can picture her in my mind. She won't be able to know that it is I, Rain, but, if should I, explain, do you think that she would respond to a stranger in her head?"
Yes. All right. So, yes, my daughter. Let's see. She's 7 years old.
Oh wow.
She has
She's appearing in my mind already.
She has very dark skin, like one of the Dusk Elves, but she has blonde hair. She's very advanced for her age, very smart. Just like a young lady. She's very smart and very mature for her age.
So I didn't fill everything in, but as he's talking, Rain would kind of like, since it's under 5 foot, kind of like conjure a small image, and as he's saying it, like reshape it to try to make it as close to what he's saying.
Yeah. So he's like, he's kind of pointing out, like, oh no, her nose is a little more shaped like this, and her face is a little more like that, and Just kind of saying, oh no, her hair's a little longer, a little shorter, and kind of giving you more description about her. And he says, yes, that looks about right.
Okay. Is there anything that I could say to her to let her know that I am with you, like something that only you would know?
Or some memory between you and her.
If he's to think about it, then he's clearly a horrible father.
Yes, he's
like, oh god.
All that time I whipped her!
No.
Do you know a bartender?
He says something only she would know. All right. Yes. Tell her about the one time. Just say the one time I fell off my horse into Lake Zarovich. Oh, the one day trip we had when we rode a horseback around the lake. She'll remember.
Sorry, I'm concocting something word-wise.
For the record, May is weirded out that Rain could make that illusion of a child. He had never seen that before. I'm gonna go to the bathroom quick, I'll be back.
Now May is just gonna judge Rain every time now. The child is brought up.
Okay, I got 23 words, 24 if you count I'm.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so I am thinking, should I send her something along the lines of this? I would say, I'm with your father. He once fell off his horse into Lake Z. Where are you? Who took you? What do you see?
Okay, yeah. Zoldak says, I think that'll work.
Okay, so Rain pulls out her book and tries to send that message to his daughter.
Okay. You get a message back.
Wait, really?
Yeah. She says, a crazy man took me. I'm tied up in a sack. I'm in a boat.
I'm in a boat. How do you know you're in a boat? I hear water!
Is that all that she says?
She says up. She says, taken north.
Okay. Okay, so Rain relays the message.
He says, she must be up. She might be up. She might be up by Lake Zarovich. That means she's alive, or possibly Lake Baratok. No, that's more to the west. She must mean Lake Zarovich. She must be up there.
Yes, since she responded, she is certainly alive. Now it's just a matter of finding her.
Yes. And he turns to the man in the corner and says, Aragol, you get the rest of the Vistani that are here, as well as several of the Dusk Elves. Take the horses and go up to Lake Zarovich and see if you can find her right away. And he kind of casts each of you a glance, a side glance as he walks past you out of the tent, but he proceeds to go rally the Vistani and Dusk Elves. And he says, "Thank you so much for your aid. We had been scouting all over. We hadn't reached Lake Zarovich yet, but we were looking more to the west and south, at least to start. But she'll be found before sundown today. I just know it. In fact, for your help, please let me show you to our treasure wagon. I'll let you pick any one thing you want out of it."
Wow, Rain says, thank you very much. It's very kind.
"Oh no, thank you for helping me find my daughter." Come on, this way.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Are there people gone?
No, CJ's just looking at something.
Yeah.
He offered us something out of his treasure wagon for helping find his daughter.
Who's in a sack on a boat
Yeah.
somewhere?
Yeah, he takes you down and around to.
What about Osama bin Laden?
No, he takes you down and around to
Who's
here.
just with?
He takes us into a cave.
Yeah, and says, "Yes, please. You help yourself to any of one of the treasures here." And I'll just list. Let's see.
Do you only get one for the entire group, or do we all get one?
Just one for the entire group.
That's some bullshit.
Well, I'm gonna take the most vampire slayingest looking one I can find.
There's a cookie, there's a hamster, and there's a handgun.
Let me see how this turns out when I paste it into chat. Not good.
There's an axe, but it has the word vampire, and it's got like a slash through it on the head of the axe. Sweet!
There's an axe, and it says HIV positive on it.
It's the axe of vampire decapitation. +2.
Write an axe.
I would take a weapon if I have it, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna, necessarily pick something for myself. I'm gonna pick what is best for the group.
Okay.
Giant invisibility cloak that'll cover 5 members. Woohoo!
Yes!
Yeah, so that's gonna probably come out horribly. I tried to fix it up as
Chest
best I
containing
could.
10,000, 1,200 gold pieces.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, because we all want to.
Yeah, with Strahd.
With the Vazaza Strahd on it.
um
An onyx jewelry box.
yeah, he says oh, by the way, the potions in the box, those are the potions we sell to get past the fog, but don't take those. They're not as potent as they claim to be. And then he does say the one potion there in the one vial that's poison. So if you have use for such a thing.
I feel like we need a exquisite unicorn in our party loot.
Does May recognize the unicorn as any symbol of Alona? Because that is
Alona's-
actually her symbol.
Really.
Yeah, it's a unicorn.
Actually, surprisingly, you do.
Sweet baby Jesus.
So you're kind of taken aback. You're like, what? How'd that end up in a place like this?
May, after seeing that, will speak up and say, assuming Luvash is with us, where did you get that?
He said, Oh, with the comings and goings of travelers from Barovia, a lot of their goods end up here. Because they don't... Most of them meet a horrible fate. This was one such occasion.
I suppose Rain asked the rest of the group, what do you guys think that we should take?
The rug. So Mai has a companion.
May doesn't need the rug, but he finds it interesting that seeing this rug here, possibly there's other followers of Alona somewhere trapped in Barovia.
Yeah, Zoldak says, well, I feel like any would suffice, as long as we have some, something we can use for income or trade, possibly. When we purchased some things from the other Vistani.
Right.
Coin is fine, but it seems like any other thing we could barter with would be just as fine.
Well,
Does that mean we want a wooden throne?
Gold inlay and decorative stones.
Well, the throne or the rug are the the most expensive. Then we have the chest that would be, assuming that we get full gold value for the other stuff, would be the not as good option. But then we have, since the other Vistani like to trade, the jewelry box that's worth 250, and then the jewelry and that poison vial. How potent is the poison?
I'd have to look up what a potion of poison.
Well, you don't want the 1200 coins of Strahd. You can look at his face every time you have a bad night.
I know exactly why they did that. Because it's the highest gold value and no one's ever going to take it.
Yeah, I guess technically 1,200 Electrum would be... Wait, because isn't it 1,200 Electrum? That's, moving
Oh,
over
wait.
by
Oh, my
10.
God. I didn't even notice that it was Electrum.
Yeah, it's Electrum, not gold.
Or, wait. Actually, I think that's between silver and gold. Never mind.
It is.
Yeah, so it's actually 120 gold.
Yeah, I think every 2 Electra is 2 gold. Or 1 gold, I mean. I think it's a 2 to 1.
Every 2 Electra is 2 gold. What a conversion.
Who knows what that means?
I just wanted to make sure that the poison wasn't anything super special.
Yeah, let me see. I'll look up what it is if I can find it. Potion of poison.
Well, I guess one thing to consider is we can't really take the wooden throne, because how the fuck are we going to carry that?
Zoldak, the party loot master.
I'm assuming this isn't a miniature throne. I'm assuming it's an entire throne.
Yeah, like a chair.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that we should take the rug.
Yeah. I'm
Or
looking up
just
the
the gold
potion of
pieces.
poison. Potion of poison. Looks and smells and tastes like a potion of healing or some other beneficial potion.
Oh, that's fun.
However, it's actually poison masked by illusion magic, and identify spell reveals its nature. If you drink it, you take 3d6 poison damage, and you must succeed on a DC 13 con saving throw or be poisoned. At the start of each of your turns, while poisoned, you take 3d6 poison damage. You can repeat the saving throw on each of your turns. And it's decreased by 1d6 each time you succeed.
Yeah, it would be for killing somebody via ingestion, not putting it on a weapon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking either iron chest with gold or the rug. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Is the rug worth the 750?
If we could find a buyer for it.
I would just take the chest.
Yeah.
The money's probably
The last thing we're gonna do is risk a rug that nobody ever fucking wants.
Exactly. Okay. I suppose. Yeah. We, if it's all the same to you, sir, we would like to take the 650 gold pieces.
Yes, he says, of course. Here, and he proceeds to give you the money. It's the least I can do for you, confirming that my daughter is alive and safe for now. And as he's saying that, the Vistani and some Dusk Elves are mounting some horses and proceeding to ride off.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Sorry we can't do more.
Oh no, you've already done so much.
And one more thing is, if you could, once she's returned, if you could stop torturing that man, that would be cool.
Oh yes, he's learned his lesson. That'll for his incompetence, and he was supposed to be keeping an eye on my daughter, and
yeah, I feel like Bartleby probably would have commented on that. Like, why is this man being judged? Like, he did something bad, and he's like, "Good, let me help."
That's
Where
why
do I put my whip?
Bartleby doesn't get a say anymore.
He was derelict in his duties. Let me show you how to punish him.
Right? You're doing it all wrong.
Stop whipping his body. You take a hammer to his hands.
Yeah. You have to whip his mind.
Okay, CJ, if you'd like to add that to the party loot.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I guess to the rest of the group, shall we head back to...
Hey, we're at
Dusk?
1,006 gold.
Woohoo!
Jesus.
Hey, we
Shall
can
we go-
use that to buy the rug.
Oh my god. Do you want to go back to the Dusk Elf and, inform him of our next move?
Go back to Casimir
that
Velikov.
That may or may not get us killed. I don't know if we want to.
I think so. Let's go back.
I
Well,
think that's our best option right now.
we need to figure out what our next move even is.
Yeah. I feel like now, because of Rain's card, she really wants to go to that dragon statue stone place, but the Light Temple might be more pressing, because they're revenants, they're not going anywhere.
Casimir says, "Oh, you're back." So did you talk with Luvash?
Yes, we, I spoke with his daughter briefly, and she revealed all the information that she knew about where she'd been taken, and it seemed to jog an idea in his mind, and off they go.
Right. Yeah, one of the men outside informed me that several of the Dusk Elves were going off to search for her up there.
This is me talking, but if we were going to kill this camp, now would be the perfect opportunity to do so.
May's not sure how he feels after... I mean, this Luvash person has said that they side with Strahd as well, but like...
It didn't come off that way.
Now he's getting like mixed signals because that guy seemed like nicer.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask if, like, whatever, like, instead of treasure, if we could, like, can we count on you with blah 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 with Strahd? But I didn't want us to get no treasure and murdered.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be standing in the middle of their entire camp and say that. You want to be in private.
That's when we're gone, and I'm like, hey, remember me? I send him a message. I'm like, if you found your daughter, do you want to join us and forsake Strahd and your brother? Like, no. Like, okay, well, you're never gonna find me. You couldn't even find your daughter. Like,
yeah, Zoldak says, well, I agree this would be the opportune time while most of them are gone. Luvash didn't I mean, he was I don't know. He seemed like he could be threatening if provoked, but he got on his good side pretty quick.
Do you guys think that Rictavio could have been the one that kidnapped the daughter? I mean, he works at the stockyard.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he physically wouldn't be involved with it because I think it happened 4 days ago and like we saw him, but I mean, he might have people working with him. Or
right,
something.
like he
That's true.
allied us pretty quick against them.
We don't know much about Rictavio.
Except that he lies.
That is true. May doesn't exactly trust him either.
Yeah. I was kind of going enemy of my enemy is my friend on that one, but I don't really like. I feel like I trust these Vistani more than Rictavio.
Well, Zoldak says, we haven't seen. Well, Casimir, maybe you can tell us because we haven't seen the Vistani here commit any crimes, but maybe you have, and I wouldn't want to. We were planning on attacking Vistani if they were allied with Strahd, but yeah. And Casimir says, like I said before, Aragol has killed many men for Strahd, assassinated them, but the Vistani here do serve Strahd. A lot of what they do involves subtlety. Namely, disposing of people that would try to oppose him, particularly in Valaki. That's where most of their work takes place. They work with. I'm pretty sure they work. I suspect they work with Madame Fiona in Valaki. She's one of the nobles.
BRB a sec, go ahead, guys.
I know she has allied herself with Strahd.
One thing, did Luvash say who he thought would have taken his daughter?
No.
No, he didn't.
Okay. I guess May would ask that to Casimir. Do you know who would take his daughter? Now that we know that somebody did and that she didn't just like run away or something?
He says, no, I don't. It was late at night. I was here in my home reading. From what I had heard, most of the Vistani, they were throwing a party and most of them were passed out. Or away. I wouldn't know. Hey, you guys still there?
Yep.
Good.
So now what?
Yeah, Zoldak says, well, it sounds like the Vistani here do at least, well, from what Casimir is saying, they've murdered people for Strahd to dispose of his enemies. But we haven't necessarily seen that, and I feel like if we attack the Vistani here, it would blow our cover. I'm sure Strahd is probably aware of where we are.
Yeah.
Or at least, but he might be distracted. I would not want to. While I want to win even small battles or victories against him, I don't know if attacking the Vistani here is the best way to go about it.
Yeah, attacking the Vistani now does not seem like it does not seem like the correct move to May.
Casimir also points out, yeah, I I think if you attacked the Vistani, I'm not sure what that would do for my brethren here. Like I said, the Vistani are pretty much the only thing keeping... Like I said, while they keep us in line, they also keep Strahd off our back. Enough. Anyway.
Well,
if you attacked them, I fear that might put us under... That might put us under his gaze again.
What if we told Luvash about Rictavio? I mean, if they're used to killing people or assassinating people, it's not like they wouldn't go into that town and try to get rid of him.
Zoldak.
But I'm not sure if May would.
Man, it's too much of a conscience to do that.
I would fuck over a human.
Yeah, I don't think May would want to do
Nah.
that. I think that is out of character, as much as I would want to see that happen.
Rain would do so. If Rain thinks this will get her closer to killing Strahd.
Zoldak points out, though, that, Rictavio, from what it sounded like, he seemed to be an enemy of Strahd, too.
Getting somebody killed is against Gizmo's alignment.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be wise to make an enemy of him, either. Because he could be a potential ally further down the road.
True. If we don't attack even if we choose not to attack the camp straight up, it seemed like he wasn't going to do it on his own.
Yeah, let things lie where they may currently. Like, don't stir it up. That would be like stirring shit up.
We could just tell him.
Also points out, agrees with you, and says, I think we need to find answers in the various places that we've heard of. Perhaps that this Argynvost hole. We know that. Well, we think one of the cards is pointing there, right?
The Four of Stars. History, knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. The fallen house, guarded by the stone dragon, look to the highest peak.
And there's also Krezk and the Amber, that Amber temple. He says, kind of glancing at.
And also the spring.
It's Krezk.
Yeah, that's where that is. I think it'd be wiser to seek information in one of those places rather than doing whatever damage we can do here. Yeah, go ahead.
How dangerous is the Amber Temple, Casimir?
Cashmere.
He kind of looks down, kind of at his feet and says, I have to be honest with you. I traveled there once before to scout it out.
Kill you dead.
And it was a horrifying place. There's an evil presence there. Or there's evil that you can feel there. If you can, and I know that's saying a lot, because in Barovia, that's just the way things are. But there is something uneasy about that place.
Does the Amber Temple have anything to do with, like, the Morning Lord or whatever?
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, Casimir says, I don't think so. I think that there's something more sinister there.
If you had to rank it, is the Dragon Manor more dangerous, or the Amber Temple?
Sounds
Amber
like the
Temple
Amber.
by far. I mean, Argynvost is haunted by those revenants, but they are hostile to outsiders. But the Amber Temple has evil that you can feel.
I think the spring sounds like the safest knowledge gathering thing for now.
Agreed.
Because it's kind of like Madame Eva 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has given us a shit ton of info, and if we can get even more, I'd like to see the whole picture before we begin. Does he know anything about the windmill that we have the deed to?
The windmill.
Yeah,
He
along the
says,
path to the east before the gate.
He says, I know it's there. I haven't. I hear like there's some crazy hags that have taken up residence there, but that's about all I know.
Great!
Bartleby is triggered as fuck. He wants to go smash some hag hands. Well, Bartleby is adamant that we will eventually deliver them justice. All of them.
What is Bartleby's problem with hags?
The Dream Pie ladies.
Shoving kids in sacks and trading them for pies.
It's more the parents than the kid. Or the hag, I should say.
Well, I agree. I think that Krezk is going to be the way to go.
Zoldak nods in agreement.
And also, I think Krezk is... I mean, aside from getting Irina, was the end of the contract for... Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't want to lose Ismark, do we?
I mean,
I
I
think
don't,
yeah,
I don't know if... Yeah.
Ismark pretty much says, yeah, I'll stay in Valaki, considering it's the central point of Barovia. If I need to go back to the town of Barovia or the castle or Krezk, it's the shortest distance between all points.
Yeah, I think
But
that...
I will pay you the rest that I agreed to. You fulfilled enough of the contract to me. At this point, it's kind of a moot.
If he's offering, Bartleby accepts the money.
Okay. Yeah, if you have it, he pays you whatever.
50 remaining. It was 50 per stop, like start and then 50 and then 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, May would actually accept the money now, this time. He won't refuse again if it's the end.
Yeah.
The contract is considered over. Obviously, we're still helping him get his sister back, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it should have been 150 gold total if you had
Yep.
if you took any of it in advance, just, Zoldak says, I failed in my mission to see your sister even to Valaki. I can't
I don't know what Gizmo's agreement was, so I don't have one.
You would probably get 100 gold, because I think you took the first 50. Hold on, let me look at your money.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think you would just add 50. Yeah, you would just add 50 gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Zoldak as a mercenary, it's like he doesn't get paid till the job is done, and in his eyes the job was he failed his mission. So
As Rain is fine with her agreement standing, but as long as we're stuck here, he can provide her with room and board.
all right. So Zoldak says, "So we're going to Krezk then? Do we want to do anything in Valaki? Do we want to talk to Rictavio before we go?"
I think Rictavio was fine with how we left him, we would send for him should we do it. We never said that we actively would.
Right.
Other than that, we helped the church, and I don't think Rain doesn't have anything else to do there.
Yeah, I think we
least
can
for
do
now.
anything else we want after we return from the west. Because we keep hearing about all these new towns that keep going to the west, but part of me thinks that Krezk and all these other places are like the last ones to the west. Hopefully, dear God.
It just
Yeah.
keeps going west.
Yeah.
Krezk is good.
We're like 300 miles west of Castle Ravenloft, and we're like, are we even in his domain anymore?
Maybe, depending on how safe or unsafe you guys think it is, maybe we could ask the Vistani to like transport us? Like if they run some kind of caravan service, being the type of people they are, to like take us out there, and then if they did, we know we'd be safe from any of Strahd's attacks.
Yeah.
It depends on if we would want to rely on them like that.
Safest way to travel to get there.
Yeah, I mean, we're in his good favor, I feel. So if we, whatever he would...
Especially if his daughter is returned safely. You can bet he will be willing to give us what we ask for.
Well, it's up to you guys, either walking or caravan travel.
Well, Ismark says, well, if you're going to walk, you might want to get started now. It's about 6 miles or so along the path.
May will go if the majority wants, but he's fine with walking. I'm not sure if he would want to depend on them for that, because they could take us somewhere.
Ismail has no problem walking. That's because he still doesn't trust anybody in this camp.
Yeah. Zoldak says, I'm fine either way. I think we should probably walk, though.
So Rain can stop being a lazy bones and walk 6 miles.
She could fly 6 miles.
She could fly 6 miles.
Huh? Yeah, I could. I could throw fly on, get there first, then short rest by the time you guys get there.
Then we just blow you
Ismark
up by the time
says,
we get there.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna stay in Valaki. I can at least keep an eye on things here for you when you return. Give you updates.
We're gonna come back and he's gonna be dead.
What you do is your will.
Alright. You can also, if you do, when you come back to Valaki,
If
you can, yeah, he said if
Fuck.
and then caught himself. Was like, no, I'm gonna say when. He'll make that bet. When you come back. To
Oh yeah, you want to
Valaki,
bet me?
You can let me know if you find in Krezk and send an update from there.
okay. Rain thanks. Cash me outside again, and then leaves.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are going off to Krezk then?
To
right
see
now?
the wizard!
May caws really loud and shits all over the top of his house.
Turn into a bird and.
No.
I can't turn into a bird yet until level 8.
He just does it as a human.
But when I do, I'm coming back.
Why would you want to do such a thing?
Caw!
Okay then.
Yeah.
I can't.
All right. So we're going to Krezk.
To the west.
To the west. Yes. Let me pull up my map here.
Your
Diablo.
map! Oh god.
Diablo's heading
On
west.
the map, on the map, on the
Alright,
map,
hold on.
on the
I
map.
had to transfer you to Valaki for a moment because the map was all the way off. Couldn't slide it across.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody else is welcome to lead if they want to now.
Yeah. I'll let either Gizmo or May.
This was not it.
On the May, on the May.
Yeah. So you once you kind of make your way back up north towards Valaki.
I want to go over here.
Yeah. No.
No, that's the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a Yeti over there.
Yeah. You start traveling down the road.
On the road again.
Down the road, and you make it to the fork or the intersection that
Cross.
Casimir informed you about. Yeah, so there's the different branches there. There's the lower half of a snapped wooden signpost is thrust upward at an angle on one side of the intersection, and the top half of the sign, arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in the weeds nearby.
We're about to get lost.
This one was Dragon Manor.
Yeah.
Remember that.
And if you pick up well, actually, he said, Casimir said, no, it's not that path yet. That leads to Berez.
Oh, I thought he said not the first one, but the second one.
Oh, that's actually the river where May is.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a road.
Yeah, that's a river.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
But yeah, you can.
Yeah, if May tries to pick up the signpost and he looks at Rain and says, "Hey, do you think you could mend this?"
Yes.
Good use of that ability. Yeah, so it points. Let me get my draw. So it points to square. No, that's not.
Rain, you should be a carpenter.
Yeah. So it points that way, says Berez. This way says Lake Baratok. Obviously, it says Valaki going and Ravenloft. It says that way, and then this way it says Krezk and Solinka Pass.
I want to head east.
Oh. Well,
and he dies. May evaporates.
He disappeared into the fog.
I tried to select. No. Giant maze are spawning all over the map. That's how you.
What's even worse is that we can't even see them all. Only CJ can see some of them because I missed.
You.
And the arrows are gone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I deleted them all.
Yeah, you continue along the path here, and the road goes here, and then there's the path south that leads to Argenvol's Holt that way. But Krezk is along the main road.
Yeah, if you guys see me keep pinging, it's because my screen lags out and it thinks I'm holding down my mouse.
Yeah.
It's every time I use Alt to move my guy.
Mine does that a lot too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some more branches in the road. The one
Here's your keyboard,
there's just a
noob.
dirt path.
What? It's Firefox's fault.
I know.
The one leading south, there's actually a signpost that says Solinka Pass.
Slinky Pass?
Solinka.
I'm not a slinky.
Salty Winky Pass.
I'm not that either.
Yes, you are.
Gizmo, can you cast Unmend?
I can cast Destroy,
Destroy. Close enough.
aka Shatter.
Shatter.
I'm not a
Unmend.
slinky, I can't pass.
If he casts Shatter, I will cast my very similar spell Shitter. Where I shit myself.
Yeah, and if you continue on, there's another path, and the path leading south here,
What the hell?
over here.
I hate it here.
I hate
Wizard
it
of
here. Let's
Lies
just go
Land.
back.
God, this reminds me of the basement of the moat.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
God.
It's just like the basement all over again. So many branching paths. Yeah, but there's another signpost
looking
when you
up?
get to here that says again Wizard of Wines Winery to the south, Krezk to the west.
Oh, the
Huh.
winery. We
actually had heard of that.
Do that
Yeah, the shipment has gone missing.
because we're here.
Yeah, that shipment went missing. We told him we couldn't help him.
To the spring first.
Yep, and Krezk is right here. There's a path that leads north just a bit, and it's actually it's I guess by this point you traveled 5 miles walking, so No. Well, it
I
was
could
about
do
6.
I could do like
It was
hold on a
probably-
second. I'll show
It was
you.
probably like 1 o'clock roughly.
Bartleby's here.
Yeah,
It's actually
1 o'clock
here.
roughly by the time you left.
Oh, come on. Wait. Hold on.
Fucking back over here.
No, hold on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Dave.
It's him.
Why did you say
Yeah.
it that way?
Why can't I?
So, yeah, pretty much just to fill
Oh
you
my
in real
God.
quick.
It's
The group
everywhere.
went-
What did you
The
bring?
group
What's
went-
everywhere?
Do we want to know what's everywhere?
No.
Sorry, CJ.
CG's dead.
Did we lose him?
Props. We haven't yet, so yes.
Yeah. Everybody pray. Maybe he'll come back. Dave came in and it made CJ crash.
Why does CG keep doing this?
He's doing it to us.
Why you do this?
Discord hasn't changed. It's not like he's got completely offline. The last thing I heard him say sounded like he was like 40 feet away from his like microphone.
Maybe we can bring him back with a magical spell. Solinka pass. Solinka pass. Solinka pass. Solinka pass.
Or we put "Why you do this" on the screen all big.
Me Cass. Solinka pass.
I like how you put "make cast" like a pass.
Me Cass.
Hey,
Solinka pass.
no.
I brought it back.
Hey, I'm back.
I
There's
brought
our
him
obligatory. There's our obligatory. I disconnect from everything.
You're welcome.
We said Dave got on and he made you crash.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So let's see here. All right, so we are. Yeah, so the group met.
I'm gonna
Casimir
need
Dust
your
Up.
boat. It's a really tiny mast, but
You're welcome.
I'm on a different map. You guys are drawing stuff. Yeah.
There's a
No, we're
vote,
not.
Why you do this and everything else on the map right now.
Yeah, so yeah, they met Casimir and he offered to help the party in any way he could and follow them if they went with him to the Amber Temple where he could find a way to bring his sister back from the dead, defeat Strahd, leave Barovia, and they also got some more information on the Vistani there. They agreed, or they helped actually the leader of the Vistani. His name was Luvash. And his daughter was missing, and Rain was able to communicate telepathically with his daughter and find that she was still alive and probably near Lake Zarovich. Yeah, the Vistani and some of the Dusk Elves went to look for her, and Luvash was thrilled. So the party is on his good side. They decided to not attack the Vistani just because of the I guess the publicity that might bring, the
Made
undesired
friends.
attention. So the party also learned about a place called Argynvost, which is a manor that is haunted by revenants, and there is supposedly a dragon that was killed there and haunts the place.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so the party ultimately decided to go to Krezk to visit the spring there, the vision
to gain
spring.
knowledge.
Yes. So that is where we are at right now. The group has just made it to Krezk.
And Bartleby wakes up inside.
Bartleby,
Oh,
we
wow.
also considered the contract complete with
Right.
Ismark, so you are now paid in full. Your full 150. You got your last 50.
Woohoo!
So,
Money.
viewer, right
money,
now we have come to a new town.
God damn it.
Guaranteed something's about to murder us because our DM is a
Yeah,
jerk.
so every square here is 50 feet, so it's
Oh,
zoomed out pretty
God.
far.
Oh, Beakus.
Yeah, I was gonna make it the next size up, but it was like...
Fuck
I
me, Vegas.
I can't even read the distance. I'm spinning it too fast.
Stop that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess technically we only need one member to
Oh, like,
party,
what the heck?
unless we split up. So whoever's still leading can.
I'm going to beeline straight for that goddamn fountain.
Gizmo goes 400 feet this way.
Off to yeah.
That is more than 400 feet, isn't it?
May is in the eye of the iris.
See, this is where the scenario gets retarded because none of us are focused.
Because we're all
A
about
little
to
bit of
die.
humor every once in a while is good.
Yeah, because CJ's about to make us like come into like a giant troll or something, and we're all gonna explode. Straw's waiting for us at the fountain.
Punches you 300 feet in the sky. Ow.
Into Zeus's face, and I
It-
combust.
It does. It does. The punch does 1d4 damage, but you take 700 falling damage. Wait.
Yeah.
Alright, so where are we going?
Yeah.
So we
'Cause
came
we're
from
on
the
old-
east.
Because we're on Old Slavish Road.
Old Sandwich Road.
No, we're not.
Old Well Road? That's what I heard.
What?
I heard this road's full of wells.
What? We're on old shitty road.
No, I heard wells.
Well, I killed myself.
Success.
May
Okay.
watches.
Gives him a
So, yeah.
celebrate inside.
Yeah, so just to give you a description of the town, it's actually yeah, it's up the road.
What's over this way then?
Yeah, over that way.
Another town.
Yeah, the path continues westward to the whole third half of or second half.
The third half.
Third half.
That makes my
Yes.
butthole pucker.
Yeah, May's worst nightmare. The other whole fourth of the other map.
May goes
oh
home.
God.
May goes home.
May goes back to the gnarly woods and just like fuck this shit.
Yeah, you're not sure what's off that way just yet,
Whoops.
but you could, travel over that way if you wanted to.
No.
But yeah, up the road here is where Krezk is, and yeah, so the road branches north here, climbs a rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall of stone, reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin white wisps of smoke.
Wait,
The
so we're
somber
like
cult-
really high right now.
Yeah, the elevation here is
Same.
it's basically climbed steadily as you've traveled on the road.
Okay.
The somber toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, a welcome change from the deathly silence and oppressive fog to which you have grown accustomed.
Is
It's
there
hard to tell
sunlight?
if this... Huh?
Is there sunlight?
No.
Not here.
God damn it.
It's hard to tell at this distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that leads up from the walled settlement to the abbey. So I'm going to reveal the kind of, I guess, the entire map, just because you can see the abbey from here. Or at least I'll reveal kind of.
Yeah, you could just
portion.
reveal the outline of the abbey.
Yeah. So like the building, the two buildings are like the wall up here, is the abbey, and it's up higher, like kind of on a.
Yeah, I mean, is
side.
that what is the scale of the lines? 20 feet higher or 10 feet higher?
It's actually 100.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's like
So,
it's
like,
perched up on a
Yeah,
like,
so like
basically a
in
mountain.
this square right here, it goes like 50 feet horizontally and 100 feet up. So that's like an insane grade. I mean, it's going
like
it's going
this
this
road
way.
is just like climbing. This road.
Yeah, this is
here
like a
is just,
45-degree angle right here.
Yeah.
Like 100 feet this way and 100 feet up. Jeez.
Yeah, it is a steep climb.
Gizmo gets up to the wall and wants to know the history of the stones.
Somebody carry me.
Yeah. You can tell
May
that
can barely carry himself up here.
You can tell that this town is that the stone for these walls
Where
is
did I go?
very old. Probably about the same time actually as a lot of the other places you've seen. Like the term like 400 years or so has been thrown out there a couple times. You figure that this is probably older than that.
Doesn't impress Gizmo, and he loses interest. Gizmo's home stones were millions of years.
Yeah, this is like maybe 500 or 600.
Yeah, it
600
does not impress. He is not impressed at all. He is actually so sad that I'm going to decrease my current hit points to 2.
That's
Wait, what?
by 2 maybe.
This. Why are there 2 of me? You're the imposter.
Yeah. Yeah, there are 2 archers and 2 guards at the top of the gatehouse. There are like kind of 2 towers flanking the entrance.
May, after making this climb, eats a good berry.
I make fun of the archers for looking goofy.
We're all stretched out, dude.
Gizmo is trying not to die just from the disbelief that this place is built so shittily.
Death save.
Make 1 death save.
He's like bleeding. Like, Gizmo, why are you bleeding? Like, these stones.
Gizmo is a heart attack, but it doesn't kill him.
It's just like a heart stops for a second. Oh. It's okay.
It's just a mini aneurysm instead of a full-on
So did
stroke.
you bring your health down from like 40 something to 2?
44 to 2.
Gizmo took 42 painful looking at stones
You have
damage.
to get inspiration for that, willingly dropping your health.
Yeah, like
I already have it.
oh, you make me sad.
I just thought I'd roll with it. You're like, it's only 500 years, and Gizmo's just like, give me something older. Like, impress me, humanity.
Like hitting himself in the head.
Hey, Bartleby is unhappy too. This wall isn't made of meat.
He's smashing his head up against the walls. He's like, be older.
Yeah, the guards like noticing that this like they haven't seen a dwarf before, so they just assume you're like
Oh
a
God!
short guy
Now I'm
with a
about to
beard.
be judged too.
I mean, you don't know that they're thinking that, but in their eyes, they just see this like stocky guy come up and like just start beating his head on their wall, and they see these other travelers with them, and they just say, "Travelers, what brings you to Krezk?"
May's kind of out of breath and he eats a good berry to try to restore himself, and he goes over to Gizmo and he goes like, "What's wrong? Why are you beating your head against the wall?"
I come in search of your fountain.
Fountain. Where do you come from?
The short story is not from here. Not from this entire region. We're trapped here.
It's been a while since we've had visitors here, or any news from outside, save for the Wizard of Wines, but if you seek shelter here, we can provide it. And
What if we seek meat?
If you seek meat, we have that too. Food, yes.
I get what you're getting at, Kenny, but like we're not playing under strict standards like that. With mend. had a viewer just say like, I guess men's like is can only repair something that's like of 1 foot long.
Yeah, that none of the dimensions exceed 1 foot, which I assumed the signpost meant.
Didn't.
Probably not, but
At least the broken part.
It was a good question, but it's
Yeah, I was assuming the part with words was not, but I'm not
the part
DM.
where it was snapped. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty lax when it comes to the rules, so if it's something where it's a creative use of an ability, I'm not gonna say no.
like I just smashed my
within
head up
reason.
against the wall for 42 damage.
Can I mend Gizmo's broken heart upon seeing that?
Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna say no to that. It's not a broken object.
Come on, man.
I beg to differ, but okay.
You need a greater restoration spell.
Salenka pass.
Yes, if you wish to visit the pool of Saint Markovia, you're more than welcome.
See, but I'm not a human. I'm a dwarf. So I'm a dwarven battering ram. Alright, so what are we doing here? Oh, Gizmo proceeds to sit down and drink and gets his HP back. Now he's in a drunken coma.
So are they opening
it's a
up
net
the gates?
net loss or gain of 0, or net change of 0, so
Humans are just dwarves. I like this
Yeah.
viewer. Why is there a question mark on the board?
Mia.
just
Oh damn, which one did you do? 300?
Yeah, the biggest one.
Mia.
yours is half out of view because it's cut off. There it is.
If they open the gate, Rain will enter the gate.
yeah, they do.
Say,
open the
can we
gate.
go through?
Yeah, they open the
No.
gate.
As we pass by,
I'm
Somebody
gonna
has-
remove Zoldak. He'll just be with the group.
Somebody has to drag Gizmo at this point in time.
what direction's your pool of Saint something or other?
They say north side. Very
May's too weak to pull Gizmo.
north. Zoldak's dragging Gizmo.
Gizmo is still drinking while he's being drugged.
Please see my head up. Sorry, I misheard you.
Careful,
just
I'll
gonna
trust
reveal
that
the rest.
giant red question mark.
Yeah. So the pool is up there, area S4. You know, you kind of make your way through town. One thing you notice.
Town's not very large compared to.
Yeah, I mean it's 50 feet per square, so it's.
Yeah, but I'm
Five-
saying like overall,
500
it's
feet
not
across.
it's not as big as like Valaki. Valaki was like long.
Yeah. This side, I don't know how. In comparing it to Barovia, I don't know which one is the larger town, but one thing you notice about the town that's a little peculiar, I guess, is that you notice that there are trees, like there are actually trees that look like they're being grown inside the town. So like there's an abundance of trees here. The other thing you know is you notice that there are a lot of like almost like little small farms or farm animals kept in pens. You know, there's like chickens and rabbits and small pigs and like I said, just little each family or house kind of has its own garden.
So you just answered the next question because I was gonna have Gizmo do a perception check to see how the state of the houses. But if there's like, so this is what in a hell of a lot better shape than Valaki is, and a hell of a lot.
This
like,
place
a hell
is
of a hell
ready
lot
for a
better
siege.
than Barovia.
Yeah, this place is prepared. Like it's one of those things where yeah,
Farther
like
we go, the nicer it gets.
they have supply. This is pretty much the best it gets. Yeah,
Like the
there's
city.
like, they have, it seems like by growing their own trees, they have their own wood supply internally, with each home having its own small farm, or just about, it's like they have food, they have, meat and vegetables.
Upon seeing whatever flora that is possibly not diseased for the first time, May would like to
Talk to it.
Yeah.
do everything. Everything.
Animal handling? Oh, you failed. That is
Everything.
He
Okay.
would like to do everything in his power to see if these things are like not diseased somehow, if they're unlike the other forest.
question.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Is the abbey can we see the abbey?
Yes, you
From
Given
where
the
we are,
height, I would say we
is-
could see it at all
you can't
times.
see into it, but
Well, is there any visual representation if it's like St. Andrew's Abbey, or is it some other like religious figure?
well, you heard the
Gizmo's curious.
the one guard say that the pool is the pool of Saint Markovia. So you don't know about the abbey though.
Have I heard of that before?
Can I do a religion check of Saint Markovia?
Sure, and I'll factor in Rain's history as well.
I don't need his history.
Yeah. You haven't heard the name before, but you assume that, given the other person in Valakhi, and then Saint Markovia, you figure that was probably somebody of importance to in the worship of the Morning Lord.
Places aren't being raided, but there's a very evil man that's destroying stuff. Gizmo takes that as note, and we'll want
Definitely
to
someone of importance.
He'll want to visit the abbey before we leave, and he makes a aware to everybody that we should take interest to find out what we can, even if it is unimportant to what we're doing. Gizmo's cleric religiousness is just ooh. Just like Bartleby should have some sort of a little bit of interest in it because he's a paladin. All right, so to the pool.
All right, to the pool. Up top there. Yep. So, even under the gray skies, this pool at the north end of the village shimmers and sparkles. So, sort of like, the light you saw, that, for those brief moments at the church in Valakhi. Here, this seems to be kind of another kind of beacon of hope. Near its shore sits an old gazebo on the verge of collapse. So, a lot of the other houses, they looked okay, but this gazebo is not looking so good. A wooden statue of a mournful, bare-chested man, its paint chipped and faded, stands in the gazebo with arms outstretched, as though waiting to be embraced.
Somebody hug it.
Why don't you hug it?
Okay, I hug it.
Nothing.
I'm upset. So we heard that you had to go into the pool and get a vision, right?
I thought it was just supposed to give you a vision.
Yeah, if you looked into it. I don't think you actually had to get in though.
Can I get into it anyway?
You could if you wanted to.
Okay, Rain takes off her armor and then goes in. So it takes me a minute to get out of my armor.
Zoldak standing by and I'll get him out of. Zoldak's just kind of standing by the edge. Not really too sure what to think yet.
fact that you brought him in makes me feel like this is not going to end well for me.
No, I just figured if everybody, for the viewers watching, it makes sense to have everybody here.
Okay, well, once I take my armor off, I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna like not really like dive in, just kind of like wade in and stare down into the water and
Yeah.
think about
It
what I
actually
saw when I
doesn't
was
take
dead.
too long. Like you kind of just start to plunge in, and already you start to see a form taking shape in the water, and in fact, everybody can see this. It's taking the shape of a person, in full plate armor, and as when the water kind of stills, even though rain is in it, and it kind of becomes unnaturally still. But the person you see, almost actually kind of looks like Strahd. But everybody go ahead and make perception rolls for it. Strahd, if you were in full plate armor. I guess that was all that.
Wait, performance. Whoops. Perception.
I was like, what are we rolling?
Performance.
Yeah.
I danced for the puddle.
God damn it! Of course Zoldyck gets the best one.
Who was
Where's-
the
Hey May.
Oh, I accidentally had I'm the
Yeah,
11 perception, so
Okay.
23.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody rolled high enough to
23.
notice that even though the resemblance is that of Strahd, the face is younger and more pleasant, and there's not like it must be like his brother.
So we saw a vision of Strahd. This is a waste of time.
It looked like Strahd at first glance, but you quickly realize that no, that's not Strahd. That's someone related to him. And when the image is finished forming and it's this man in the water, he actually kind of rises up to the surface of the water and is kind of standing knee deep, sort of like where Rain, kind of at the point where Rain is. And he says, "Hello, travelers. My name is Sergei. Tell me, is Irina safe? Is that why you're here?"
Strahd has Irina.
He casts his face down at the water and says, so it was not meant to be. Even now we are apart still." He says, "Yes, I'm Sergei von Zarovich, brother of Strahd. Irina, actually Tatiana rather, is her real name. She and I were meant to be wed, or were wedded many years ago. And that's when Strahd killed me. So, travelers, then what can you tell me about Barovia outside of this region? I can only see bits and pieces here."
Wow, fucking.
That sounded good.
I don't know what the fuck this cat is destroying.
That was the cat.
Yeah, this cat's an asshole. Anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna clean this up.
Yeah. He says, "Please tell me what you can. My sight from here is limited, but I will tell you what I know.
Everything's
What you seek."
I think we're about to hear murder of an animal over the
Yeah, there was like
Kirshner side.
there were some avalanche sounds in there.
May, do you want to explain what's going on to this man?
What did he ask?
He asked what news you have of Barovia. His vision is limited.
Oh, basically
see.
recent news.
He says, "Anything you can tell me."
Strahd's still an asshole.
Particularly if it pertains to Tatiana.
It-
You said she is not safe.
Is this person from Barovia?
Kill
Like,
it.
when they
You
ask for
said you
information
didn't
about,
have Tatiana.
like, if
So,
they...
did you...
Oh. He says, yes, I'm from Barovia, but I was killed more than 400 years ago by Strahd, and now my spirit is bound to this pool. I'm only able to see bits and pieces of what happens in Barovia, when most of it not pleasant. I was keeping my eye on the one you call Irina, but she vanished from my sight soon after you left the town.
So, Strahd has a hold on this entire, what seems to be the lands of Barovia, even though that there is like a town called Barovia, and
Yes, the land.
the woods and everything. This entire land is just getting. It's the sickest land that I've ever seen, aside from east of this area to the moat house. And it seems like Strahd has control in that nobody can leave, and also there's some tie with people's connections to their powers, to their gods, because there's this fog that covers the entire land, and it seems to cut off any connection that people have with their gods. And aside from that, there's some like very specific people that you may not know, like Luvash of the Vistani, I don't know, and
I'm not aware of specific some of that name.
yeah, like Casimir Velikov, he's Dusk Elves. I don't know how long they live for.
I know of the Dusk Elves. I know at one point they were very numerous here, but they've dwindled in numbers.
Yes, there was this Casimir Velikov, his sister Katrina or Atrina. His sister was taken. She went to Strahd, and Strahd wanted to like make her his wife, and the Dusk Elves. She got turned into a vampire, and the Dusk Elves killed her, and then that's why he went and killed all the Dusk Elves.
So, from what you're telling me, things have become far worse.
It seems like there are some
continues.
people that have designs to end Strahd, but most just simply fear or don't comprehend what's going on. They have like they can only see, like as far as their hands extend in terms of like their awareness of the situation. They're just kind of like doing what they can to survive, but not really thinking about any bigger picture. There are some more powerful people who seem to be doing that, but yeah.
And do you intend to stop Strahd?
I would like to leave here, in which case we think that may be the only way.
Yes. Thank you for the information you've given me. As I said, I can see some things. I know some of the goings on, but if only limited. Perhaps what information and knowledge I can share with you will be of use to you. I think you should know. I'll tell you my story. Maybe that'll help, and then I can answer some of your more specific questions.
And this guy's name is Sergey something?
Yeah, Sergey. Vonzo.
Sergey.
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 Sergey Vonzo.
Sergey Vonzo.
Yeah, he says Strahd is my brother. He, after the death of our father, Strahd fought many wars against our family's enemies. He was a very powerful and very victorious commander, and he eventually proceeded to conquer all of our enemies. But then, in his conquest, he discovered this valley, Barovia, and named it after our father, actually, Barov. And he, myself, and our mother, Ravenovia, we all moved here. Strahd built his castle, and we moved here. And that here is where I met Tatiana. You know her as Irina. One thing you may not be aware of, if you're not aware of this already, is that souls in Barovia stay trapped in Barovia, even on death.
I am well aware of this.
Yes. But what you may not know is that souls that wander for long enough eventually are reborn here, with some memory of the life they might have lived once in the past. But that is Irina, as you know her.
So I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
If Irina is one of these captured souls, does that happen when the person is born, or does that person just materialize?
Born.
Okay.
So someone else is born and she took over that person's body, or...
No, born as the person from the start.
I think no new souls can really be entered or created in Barovia, so they're just kind of recycling souls at this point.
Yeah, Sergei nods his head.
So Ismark is an old soul as well.
Could be.
Possibly.
Yeah, he says Ismark is Irina's stepbrother.
Oh.
I do
okay.
know that. His soul would probably be old too. Or at least one that has been trapped here.
Mm-hmm.
As are most people, those who don't wander in. Now, not everyone. That doesn't happen to everyone. I am aware of the souls of those who have tried to stop Strahd. They march up to his castle as ghosts every night at midnight because they failed in their mission to stop him. It's just whatever causes the most suffering, that's what seems to be the...
That's the depth of their father. Probably completely.
So why haven't you been reborn?
Because whatever dark powers preside over here have seen fit to keep me trapped here. If I'm trapped here, I can't do anything about it, about any of the suffering that goes on. I must
Can we
just
free you?
watch.
Is there a way to free you?
Only if, but the only thought I would have on that is if you somehow found a way to stop Strahd, either by killing him or somehow unleashing or releasing his grip over the land.
Are those two not one and the same?
I'm not sure. If I continue with my history, maybe that could help you, because I know some of how Strahd became a vampire. So when we moved here, that's when I met Tatiana, and we fell in love and were to be wedded. But Strahd had his eye on Tatiana as well, and on our wedding night, Strahd. Well, let me back up a moment. Strahd, I believe he got involved in some sort of dark magic. I don't know much else other than that. He seemed to, go off on his own from time to time, and to where I was not sure, but I think that's where he learned. That's how he learned the secrets of unlife. And when we got married, that's when Strahd realized that, we were married, and he wanted Tatiana for himself and proceeded to intervene.
What conversation are you having with this viewer, Jordan?
Don't worry about it.
George Washington Carver, so you can learn the ultimate peanut butter recipe?
But that Strahd proceeded to pursue Tatiana, and when I found out about it, I went to stop him. But that's when he killed me and proceeded to drink my blood, and somehow in that process, that's when he gained the power. He chased Tatiana off of the castle parapets and
Shouldn't he come back
battlements.
into the vampire then? Because hasn't everything Strahd bitten turned into a vampire?
Everything he bites, yes, turns into a vampire. He was the
Why
first
did
in Barovia.
Sergei was a vampire and he
No,
died,
no.
or
No,
oh.
Sergei wasn't. Strahd killed me with a sword.
Oh. Well, if he was, doesn't make
He
any
slew
sense.
me.
Yeah, but if
and
he was
then-
bitten, shouldn't he have turned?
No.
Yeah,
No,
I think
Strahd
he
didn't
killed
bite
with
me.
the bite.
He killed me with his sword and then proceeded to drink my blood. He was still
Oh,
human
okay.
at this point.
That makes
He was still
sense
human.
now.
But then, when some guards, seeing Strahd slay me and chase Tatiana off the castle balcony, some guards proceeded to kill Strahd. But when they shot at him, he didn't die. That's when he became a vampire. And he's ruled the land in terror ever since.
How can we? Is there a way for us to speak with? We've noticed there have been some times, after doing some deeds like returning some bones and destroying,
Betraying
a
bones?
house of evil. Yes, to the Morning
Curses.
Lord in Valaki.
Yes.
We've noticed small breaks in the clouds. Is there a way that we could make this more permanent so that we could speak with our gods?
Yes, I believe so. From my observations, I saw some other people like you who sought to stop Strahd, and whenever they did anything that would break his hold over the land, undo what he had done, there was some visible manifestation of that, such as the sun peering through the clouds. When they undid anything that any evils or terrors that he brought on the land here and the people here. And I think that's what gives Strahd his powers. Some dark force. It's his tie to the land that strengthens it. Strahd is somehow bound to the land here. And if you can undo the evils he's caused, it'll weaken that bond.
Which is probably... It's like... It may not even be... I mean, he may have some control internally, but he may not even have the ability to leave.
Right.
Like, regardless of anybody being able to leave, like, he's started some bullshit that he can't even control.
Sergei nods in agreement and says, yes, come to think of it, I've never seen Strahd leave Barovia since that day.
He's probably bound to the castle.
Well, no, because we fought him at that gate,
Yeah,
and then he
but
took
I'm saying,
our...
like, he's probably,
like, the source of his binding.
yeah, why he can't leave is probably the castle. I mean, we've established haven't we established there's something behind Strahd that he's not exactly the one pulling the strings?
We've had suspicions of it.
Someone or something could be in the castle that's making is the reason for the darkness and why we don't have a connection to our gods, or why Strahd's
Yeah, I mean,
just,
that... May not knowing much about, like, super powerful people, like, the most powerful person that he knows of is the Archdruid at the Gnarly Wood, but, like, the level of power that he's seen here, like this whole restricting thing in the fog and the cutting off and just all this stuff, that seems like beyond anything that he could comprehend. So he doesn't even think that maybe even Strahd's doing it. So he kind of
something's bigger than Strahd.
yeah, like he could see that.
Sergei says, whatever power, whatever dark magic he consulted to obtain his undeath, his being as a vampire, I'm sure of it. I wish there was more I could do, but as I said, I'm bound to this. But I sincerely hope that you have the Morning Lord's blessing and whatever other gods you serve and are able to stop him. Even if Tatiana is now lost to Strahd. If you find her, and if she is a vampire now, if you could do me this favor, if you can't find a way to cure her, please kill her and end her suffering. I don't want her to be just merely a pawn or a plaything for Strahd.
Theoretically, if we kill her, she could eventually just come back anyway, although that might be on the order of hundreds of years.
Yes.
Well,
death would be a better, and
if we
living
figure...
again would be a better.
Well, depending on what we find at the Amber Temple, we may or may not be able to save her from being a vampire if she's already turned.
Amber Temple? Sergei asks.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Well, I think that's Katrina or whatever. Casimir is at the Amber Temple.
Yeah, Casimir wants to go to the Amber Temple.
Yeah, the leader of the Dusk Elves.
Yeah.
Her sister had told or her brother told us about this place where we might be able to find a way to bring her back. Which, in the end, would be Tatiana in some form. And possibly you back as well.
I'm sorry, what did you say right at the beginning of that?
Oh, that at the Amber Temple there might be a way to bring back Tatiana in some form. You know, whether it's whatever incarnation of her it would be. And we might also be able to bring back you, Sergei, as well, depending on what we find there.
Yeah. He says yes. That might be right.
Hey, Sergey, what can you tell me about what's in this abbey?
The Abbey? He says, my knowledge of that is limited, but I do know that there's a man they call the Abbot who resides there. The townsfolk don't trust the place and don't go there. There's strange howling and shrieks that come from there.
Let's do it.
It's the source of the wolfies.
Well, we gotta start winning our small victories against Strahd, so we might as well start here.
Another quick question from May to Sergei. He mentions the fact that a woman named Madame Eva gave us all sort of fortunes and stuff, and the fortune that May received talked of a sacred place where the morning light once shone. Does that mean anything to Sergei?
Where the morning light once shone, a sacred place.
Yeah, that's basically a location, but it says that my enemy is a creature of darkness, And that location is where they are, or where he is.
Where the morning
Castle
light once shone.
Ravenloft.
He says, yes, actually. If there's any place I could think where the morning light once shone, but doesn't now, it would be the Chapel of Ravenloft.
The Chapel of Ravenloft, and where's that?
In the castle.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was a magnificent chapel to the Morning Lord. Back before Strahd murdered me and all this. Once a bright place, especially when when over in the east the sun would rise and flood through the stained glass windows of the chapel. But certainly that is not the way it is now.
Thank you. That is the largest lead I could have ever hoped for.
Oh yes, you're certainly welcome. He also says, oh, by the way, if you happen to find it, I once had a weapon of light that I used, but it was lost to me. A weapon of light that I used to fight the very undead that Strahd has become. The very foul things that serve him now.
A card of
sure
power.
To it.
A card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a weapon of sunlight. There is a town where all is not well. You will find a house of corruption, and within a dark room full of still ghosts. 9 of Swords. Could this fortune be talking about the Abbey?
Sergei says, well, it's possible. If that's what they mean by House of Corruption. The Abbey did. The Abbey did fall to corruption, I would say, many years ago. After Strahd took over, the priests and nuns that, worshipped there proceeded to end up backstabbing each other and ultimately slew each other.
MacGuffin's sword.
Well, I think we have our destination, friends.
Gizmo wants a location that won't kill him.
Gizmo wants what?
A location that isn't gonna murder us.
Too bad.
Welcome to Barovia.
Gizmo looks at the wall, or he looks at the walls again and goes back to 2 HP in depression.
Just fluctuates.
Maybe if he would stop
Zoldak
killing
says,
himself.
well, it sounds like we have a plan now. We need to... We're slowly putting the pieces together with these cards, it sounds like. And we know that anything we can do to undo whatever Strahd has done will weaken him somehow.
Yes, I think the Abbey is a wonderful place to start. It might even give us an edge in fighting Strahd in the literal sense of a weapon.
Yeah. Sergei, his form starts to kind of start to melt, or drip back into water, and he says, my time is over. Must return. Farewell, friends, and I hope your quest sees you through, and you fare better than those that have come before you.
Wait, what does that mean?
How many?
Thousands.
And
we still have questions.
He proceeds to just kind of splash. His form proceeds to splash back into the water.
Bloop.
So yeah, Rain leaves the water and puts her armor back on.
Yeah. Actually, go ahead and make an Arcana check too.
Puts her pants back on.
Puts my pants.
Okay. Yeah, you also realize when you got in the water, you felt cured. Not necessarily in terms of like hit points, but like using a metagame term, but like you felt like like physical ailments kind of leaving you. The effect would be a lesser restoration spell.
Okay. Come on in, guys. The water's lesser restoring.
I was gonna say, does that mean I can fix May's hand?
I forget if lesser restoration.
I think it has to be greater.
I think
doesn't.
it's greater. Yeah. Lesser restoration is like removing poison and like various other status
So close,
effects.
May.
I was like,
Okay, so
I was like a hand away from getting a hand back.
take a minute to don my armor again, and I would like to take a short rest before we go into the thing, just to get my one spell back. Because I feel like we're gonna need everything we have.
Considering the creepy
Yeah.
Abbey on the hill.
Maybe we should spend the night. Bartleby gets his spells back. You get your superiority die and second wind back.
Yeah, I mean I get that back with a short rest, but
Okay. I mean, we really didn't do any like combat, but between
My viewer
getting-
brings up a good question. If we soak our clothes, will we always be healed?
if you what?
If we soak our clothes in the pool, will we always be healed?
Let me check and see.
could
Let
Could
me
I
see
instead-
here. Roll damage against yourself real quick while I'm looking this up.
And he's like, how much healing do you think you could absorb in a towel? Just throw towels over our shoulders.
Make like the rat tail of healing. You're no longer blind, but
Yeah,
also now you're blind.
Rain or someone, I guess someone other than Rain, go ahead and make an Arcana check if you want to.
What's your Arcana?
Yeah, I don't think I found shit.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Gizmo. In it when you inspect the pool and you kind of maybe like stick your finger in it or take a sip of it or whatever you do to determine its magical properties.
He farts in it.
You
Passed out in it.
you determine that the water was probably once had like possessed greater magic, but it's weakened over time. But so and because of that, you suspect that if you did something like soak your clothes in it, or maybe take like a fill up a pouch of like a water skin or whatever, that the effects would last for a little while, but they wouldn't last for terribly
Wear
long.
off.
Damn it. I tried, Kenny.
Maybe like a day.
They won't let us have it.
I'll go ahead and fill my water skin in it anyway, because it's not a well, and that might be the last water source. It's not a well I see for a
Jesus.
while.
Yeah, I mean Zoldak's gonna do the same. If there's water with magical property, even if it only lasts for a day, he'll take it.
Yeah, I guess Bartleby will fill it up.
What time is it at this point then?
Let's see. You guys left around 1 o'clock and traveled like 6 miles.
He just suggested. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, this probably won't work either. He's like, but you could try to make a small canal to where you're going.
Well, if
Use
we're
a
going to the
pump
Abbey,
and
we have to
hose.
find a way to bring the water uphill.
Yeah, we're about to go up like 400 feet.
Yeah, we went 6 miles, but it was like going up a mountain, so
Yeah.
I
So, I don't know. I don't
Probably-
know what a good estimate of time for that is.
probably would be like 6 hours or something, like an hour per thing.
I like the
If
idea
you're
of
like
grabbing.
hiking,
we went
basically.
up pretty high. So.
I like the idea of grabbing Strahd and drowning his ass in that lake.
Yeah, you
Puddle.
never know.
Step
So-
1,
But I'd say,
grab
like,
Strahd.
yeah, you're probably looking at like it being 6 p.m. now.
Rain would suggest that we find the inn, maybe like get something to eat, do like a night scout of the abbey to see what, like, if we hear any noises and things like that, and then return first thing in the morning.
Yeah, Zoldak says, I feel like we should at least, again, getting more information can only help us.
Right, and we can speak to people in the inn or whatever. We don't
can
have
find
to
out
like,
what they know.
yeah, exactly. Like just set up in the inn, and then information gather from there. Like, you know, a couple of us can scour the town, a couple of us could just stake out the abbey.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it is 10 o'clock now, so I think we'll call it there.
Sounds good. Got our plan.
Yeah.
We can pick up. And
So originally, months ago, I mentioned that I had training that was going to take up all of my time over the next 2 weeks, but they canceled that today.
okay.
Okay.
So, in usual government fashion, I find out like one business day before I'm about to lose 2 weeks of my life.
Yep.
They're like, hope
Yeah.
you didn't want to take vacation there and you lost it.
Well,
All right. Everyone can add another 1,000 XP.
10,000?
1,000.
I can't hear him anymore. He's breaking up. All I heard was 10,000.
I heard 10,000.
Holy shit, I'm level 70.
Just for for interacting with Casimir and the Vistani and
Could we get 1,120?
120 to put us exactly at 20,000.
Yeah.
I'm at 2026.
No, I don't want to break it yet.
Yeah,
Don't give it to me.
that'll be next time. Yeah,
still at
just for
7.
that and for encountering Sergey and
What's level
learning
7?
more.
Is it 2400?
24,
20.
26.
I thought is it 24?
I'm still at 27,260. 17,262. 262.
It's because you refused to take the experience the day you died.
Because I was
Aw,
dead.
man, I meant to ask Sergey if he'd be happy that we killed his horse.
Wait, was that his horse?
I meant Strahd's horse.
Yeah, 23,000 is 7.
I bet Sergey hated that horse.
Cool. But
Where are you going?
I'm zooming around.
zooming around 10.
Yeah.
Rain's
Wait,
pissed
does
that
that
she
mean
died and lost
does that mean
experience.
that Boostfulus could be just waiting to come back as like a kid now? Like this nightmare soul could come back as just a random kid in town.
You're not sure.
The
Oh.
baby. There's a baby born with red eyes and hooves that are on fire.
That's horrible.
Bartleby might insist on taking a closer look at every small child he encounters.
When was your baby born? 2 days ago. Come here.
Yeah. Get over here.
It makes things suddenly catch fire. All right, he's dying.
What do your kids' feet look like? Like,
could do
he
an
could
animal
never wear
handling
normal
check.
shoes. Like, get over here.
I want to get a better look at it.
Animal handling.
Yeah.
Animal handle small child.
Yeah. I want to try to calm the child down. Is it an animal handling check or a persuasion check, CJ?
Depends how you're proceeding to Calm it down.
He walks over to you with his goat legs. I mean, his human legs. Like, why'd you even have to put a race on him?
I try to pet it and say now and hand it a carrot.
Jesus.
Does it like it? Does it need a dentist?
Does it need a dentist?
And then that's whenever Gizmo makes a horse noise in the back, and you're like, wait.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No.
Viewers like the ability to climb walls and ceilings, perhaps turn their head 360 degrees.
Yeah, right.
Some things are alarming, and your local exorcist should be contacted immediately.
He's been doing this ever since, like, no. No, we're gonna have to take your son from you.
Oh man, this would make me such a hypocrite. I'd have to smash my own hands.
It's him!
The local exorcist is Gizmo. He just goes in and shouts at the child with shatter just to combust.
Which one
I
is
got
it?
disconnected again, so I missed anything that was just said. Like,
Just a lot of laughing.
Nothing important.
nothing.
Bartleby's breaking his own hands for stealing the horse baby.
I'm a horse thief. Oh! Take this, me!
I'll never do this again.
I'll teach me to steal.
Tears justice always works.
Yeah, nice. Well, anyway, guys, that was fun.
Yep.
Kenny, that's the end of the stream for the scenario. I would appreciate a follow, if you would, and we do this every Tuesdays and Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah.
To whenever.
Yeah, basically.
Usually
to
around
whenever,
we get
to whenever we
It's been
figure out
pretty
a
close
good
to
stop.
7 to 10.
Yeah. Because everything's always still happening at 9. There's too much shit going on. Goddamn
Although, if
Barovia.
you live in Hawaii, we start at 1 p.m.
Oh, Jesus.
He said Eastern Standard.
I do have a YouTube where these I export these live streams to. I'm still trying to figure out the panels for that, but